Hello, everyone. It's Mark Noxious, aka Nox. So excited to be here again with you guys on the HCOM Podcast. I know it's been a minute since our last episode. I apologize. We've just been so busy here. But hopefully, the next year, we will be able to drop an episode every week for you guys. If you don't know what HCOM stands for, if you're new or just, revisiting, HCOM stands for Heavy Comms. And it is also MOCH spelled backwards, and MOCH is an acronym for Mercenaries Online Creating Hell. I am the founder and owner, and today with me I have Viz, who is our new Tournament and Events Supervisor, and he was also on the starting roster when we had a Call of Duty team back in BlackOps 4. What's up, Viz? How you doing, brother?
How's it going, man? I'm doing all right. How
Doing
about
all
yourself?
right. Oh, dude, I am doing good. As always, busy, but excited to have you
Understand
back in the
that.
ranks, grinding with us. I remember when you hit me up out the blue because we played comp for like a solid year for the entire Black Ops 4 season, and then
Sir,
you had some things going on. I think you were still in school at the time, and you were getting a new job, and you were moving, so you wasn't
very
able to.
young.
Very young too. You were very young. Um, you were the youngster. I think you were the youngest one on the team, actually, if I recall.
I believe so, yes.
Yeah, but I remember when we needed at that time Black Ops 4 was 5v5, which was stupid, but we won't go down that road. But it was 5v5, and we needed an extra player, and we did our tryouts. And I can't remember how you found out about us, if it was a pub match or a ranked match, but somehow you found us, we found you, and we saw that you were really good in search and destroy, and you were one hell of a sniper, and that's what we needed at the time. And so we brought you on after your tryout, and you hit one crazy snipe. I'm gonna have Skunk put it in here shortly, but it was a crazy snipe on S&D. You got two in that round, but the one that stood out to me the most was you barely peeked the guy in the window. This was during a scrim, and then you just, beamed the guy. Like, just quick scope the man into oblivion. Like, sent that man packing to go play Minecraft. It was
Yeah,
hilarious.
I enjoyed my snipers in BO4 for sure. I was going through some clips the other day, and I think I ran into the clip, the game that I met you guys in. I believe it was a pub search and destroy game. I think you
Oh,
guys were just kind of vibing out.
dude, I need to
And
find that clip.
and it was just I think it was on I think the map was called Jungle or something like that. And I had an ICR and I was playing with you guys. I think that was the clip that was the game that I met you guys, and yeah, that was a really wild experience. It was very awesome. Like you said, I think I was the youngest in the roster at that moment, and uh I mean, I remember y'all being a little hesitant because I was so young. I
Yeah,
was
you
like,
were
"Oh my
like,
gosh,
what,
73."
16?
I'm 15 or 16, yeah, maybe even 14. I was down there.
Yeah, because I remember when Abel joined Insanity. For those of you who don't know, Insanity was on our last episode. He joined in AW, and he was 14 too. I think he lied. He said he was 15, but Nigel, he was 15. But his gamer tag was Squeaker. But that's why we knew he was young. But Abel was young too when he joined. But yeah, Black Ops 4 was a very unique game, to say the least. With the 5v5, the SOG, the Maddox, and the ICR. It was I didn't really like the 5v5. I'll be honest. I didn't like it. I thought I was gonna like it, and for like 3 days I was like cool, but then after a while I was just like, it felt like they were just trying to be like Rainbow Six Siege too much. I don't know. That's just my opinion. But
Uh, I enjoyed the 5v5. I felt like it was a nice little change of pace. Then again, Black Ops 4, I think, was the last Call of Duty I played kind of legitly for a long period of time. So,
right, yeah, you went on a long hiatus. But yeah, so yeah, this is Viz. He is our events and tournament and event supervisor. So we'll be hosting a lot of events and tournaments for you guys, and Call of Duty, Apex, maybe some Fortnite, Rocket League, and all that. Viz, alongside Corey, they're going to be heading that department up. But I want to go into what got you into gaming, and how long have you been gaming, and then your overall goals in esports, streaming, content creation. What's next for you? and then more about like who you are as a person. So yeah, just take it away, brother.
Well, I got into gaming at a very young age. I've been gaming for probably as long as I can remember. Well, I think I got a PlayStation 2 for Christmas one year when I was like 4 or 5, I want to say, and just, I mean, that's all I did. I came home, I played video games, and I don't think my family knew what they were getting themselves into, but I think it was however longer later, once BO2 came around, it I didn't really find out about BO2 until it was had been out for a minute, but once I did, that's really where my passion for FPS came into play. I I love Cops 2, and I remember there was a game one day where I was playing and found out about KD, and someone told me my KD I think was like a point 0.8. I was like, "Is that good or bad?" And they're like, "Yeah, it's like average." I was like, I can't be average." And so that was the day where I've really just changed my tune in the FPS scene. Um,
You went for above average. Love
Oh
it.
yeah, had to be. I've always felt like if I'm gonna spend as much time as I do on the game, I don't want to die.
Oh yeah. I mean, even this past weekend it was the CDL opening. Well, not it was like the second week of the opening or whatever. And there's some pros that were dropping donuts, man. I'm
Man,
just like they've been in the league for years and just consistently dropping donuts. I'm like, man, I don't know if they
yeah,
can't keep up with the fast kids or what, but
the league I could, man, I don't know, because sometimes I want to say I feel like I could understand because you're at least you're in that caliber. You're in that field with the same caliber players. You have a bit of an understanding to be dropping donuts if they're playing good. But if it's
right,
I don't know, because sometimes, like, even myself, when I'm playing, like, Apex or Rogue Company, I mean, I'll get teammates who, of course, they're dropping donuts. They're on for casual play. It's nothing serious, but sometimes you get that feeling, even as a free-to-play game player, that you wish there was some way to create that gap to where there were certain games who people who want to play casually stick to, if that makes sense. So
yeah.
people who are like me or who want to get into that higher level of gameplay don't have to worry about that.
Let me ask you when you started getting into gaming, you mentioned earlier, um, it was just mainly for recreational use, and then you slowly got into competitive COD when
Oh
your
yeah.
friends told you had a decent KD, and then you're like, well, I want to get higher than that. What prompted you, I guess, or what Call of Duty game prompted you to get more serious into the competitive side of the game? I guess which
I would
title?
say I would say it was BO3 because around BO2 that was kind of when I just kind of wanted to start improving myself, and I that's when I started watching YouTubers and like how to actually improve in the game. But once BO3 came around, that's when I started watching the CDL leagues, and that's when I found Scump and Formal. He was nuts back in BO3, and that's what really sent me. It was CDL League watching Formal play back in BO3. He was insane.
Oh yeah, Formal was to this day I hail him as one of the top three best ARs of Call of Duty, hands
Oh
down.
yeah,
That
he
dude
was
was
one of
just
my biggest
insane.
inspirations for sure.
And he knew how to snipe. He was a good sniper too.
Oh yeah, I have actually a clip instilled in my brain from him, BO3 Breach, and he has an SVG. I think it's thermal, and he's jump sniping. I think he jump sniped like 3 people on the other team, and it was dirty.
Wow. Yeah, I didn't care too much for the Black Ops 3 campaign. I thought it sucked, and the multiplayer was
I
okay, but
agree.
the zombies, Black Ops 3
The zombies
zombies
was
was
nice.
awesome. Shadows of Evil and the Rising Jack. I could play that all night long. In fact, I have played that all night long multiple times.
Yeah, I
Um,
actually I never really got into the zombie side of Call of Duty, except for maybe a little bit in BO3 just from some IRL friends and stuff. I think BO3 was probably the most zombies that I played out of any of the CODs.
right. But going back to comp, yeah, we did some search and destroy tournaments on MOG. That's when MOG was still a big thing. And now as you know, when they did the city based franchising, the CDL came and kind of took over um, that. But we did a lot of search and destroy tournaments, and search and destroy used to be back in Black Ops 2. I hated search and destroy. I didn't understand it. I didn't like dying and having to wait a whole round. But when I started getting into competitive play near the end of Black Ops 2 season and in the beginning of AW, I saw that search and destroy was vital in
Yeah,
best of five series. I mean,
very
you
vital.
potentially play it twice, and it's the last game that determines who wins the series. And so,
Right.
like you, I was like, well, I have to get better at this game mode and better at my gun skills. I can't just be, average. And coming from a game mode I hated in Search and Destroy, by I want to say better part of maybe 4 months or maybe 5 months into the Advanced Warfare season, I was in the top 1,000
Yes,
on that game
sir.
in Search and Destroy.
That's what
And
I like to
and
hear.
I love Search now. I mean that game mode is my favorite, man. And it's just like you said, the mentality of not settling, not giving up, not just being complacent, that comp mentality of just getting it done, figuring
Yeah,
out
I
the way,
always,
watching
uh,
videos. Yeah.
yeah, I always had that feeling of just, I need to, especially anytime I ran into somebody in pubs who had just like a above a 2.5 KD and they just weren't dying. I was like, that's gonna be me someday.
Yeah. I mean, and the finesse, going, because the reason why I'm bringing up Search and Destroy so much because I feel like we had a really good roster on the Black Ops 4 roster. We had a stacked roster. But as far as Search went, as far as like IQ plays, it was mainly you and I leading that, and then everyone else had their moments for sure. But I felt like Search. I think that was one of the reasons why we picked you up was because you were a good
Yeah,
sniper and you
Search
were
was
good at
my game
Search.
mode.
Yeah, Search was your game mode. So um, I guess we could talk about Search and Destroy a little bit more too. But there's a round. What the map that you got that crazy sniper on? Do you remember the name of that map? It had like the biolab thing in the middle. Not the battle lab. The
I want to
electronics
say it was
thing.
called Arsenal.
Arsenal? It might have been Arsenal.
I
Um,
It's really hard for I can remember the BO3 maps more than I can remember the BO4 maps. I want to say it was Arsenal, but I could be wrong.
but time and time again, we did a lot of scrims, and we scrimmed this one team that were out of the three teams we would rotate our scrims with, they were the best because they had two players on their team that were like goaded, and so that gave us a run for our money and tested our skills. And there was one I think they planted at the B bomb site, which is if you spawn in to protect the site, it's on the right hand side of the map.
Yep.
And it was you were left in a 1v2 situation, uh, and
Oh, I remember. Mm-hmm.
we had planted the bomb, I think, and they had to defuse it. And I mean, there was like three different ways it could have came, and you had to watch like each angle. But you decided to check the bomb site. I think you sniped, and either you got a hit marker through the bomb, or you saw the guy laying and you missed. You challenged with the SOG, and you kill the guy off the bomb. The teammate jumps to, I guess, get the trade and try to defuse, and you gun him with like your whole screen went red, and I could have
Yeah.
swore you were gonna die, and you
Yeah, I
just
took height
clutched that
advantage on the
up.
bomb.
Yeah,
Got
you remember that,
lucky.
right? It was a
Yeah.
Prophet and what's the character with the bleach blonde hair? Prophet
Blonde hair.
and it wasn't the guy with the
Ruin, I
Ragnarok.
think, maybe? No, it
No, it
was
wasn't
Battery.
Ruin. No, it wasn't Battery.
It
Was it
wasn't?
Battery? I thought no, the guy
Because
with
I know
the
Battery, she has the blondish hair.
yeah. But it was a guy, and he had like kind of beach blonde hair.
Hmm.
Uh, it wasn't Ruin. It wasn't Battery, because that
The
player,
skins in that game threw
huh?
me off. There was a lot of skins in that game.
There were, yeah. It's the I can't remember the dude's name. I'll have to look it up now. I can't remember the character's name but that player who was still alive, he never ran batteries. That's how I know it wasn't battery on that particular team. He never ran battery. It was let me see if I can pull it up here. I feel like it's on the tip of my tongue too. It was like I think it was a black character, had like beach blonde hair, kind of skinny. Um, I'm gonna look up Black Ops 3 operators now. Or specialist, that's what they were called, specialist, huh? There was Prophet, Ruin, Outrider. There was Division, Battery, Seraph, Nomad, Reaper,
I have no
Spectre.
clue.
Oh wait, no, I typed in Black Ops 3. I'm talking Black Ops 4, huh? I'm so dumb.
Oh,
Black Ops
so
4 operators
Crash, Ajax, Recon, Torburn, Firebreak. I have no
images.
idea.
I'm trying to see a list of them. It was this guy. You see my screen? It's this guy. Whoever this guy is. I can't remember his name, but it was that guy. Crash, Crash. That's who it was. Crash.
Oh, okay.
I couldn't remember that dude's name for the longest. I don't even know. I can't even remember what his
I
specialty.
can't remember his specialist either.
What did he do? Crash team support. I don't know what he did. Constant ammo and health support. Oh, he was like the medic. Okay, I saw
Oh, I could have
Captain.
swore that was Battery. No, she had her kinetic armor. Okay.
Yeah, kinetic armor and the grenade launcher was battery. I remember that
Yeah,
from Black Ops 3, and they brought it over to Black Ops
it's
4.
been a long time. I've
It's
played
been
a
a long
lot of
time.
Apex since
But
then.
yeah, you gunned Prophet and Crash, and those two players were the best two players on that team's team. And the fact that you 1v2 them in such a clutch manner, didn't freak out, didn't panic, just cool, calm, and collective, hit your shots. I was like, yeah, this guy's the real deal. And I think that's kind of what solidified your position. Uh, but that was
That was
great
an
to
awesome
see.
scrim for sure.
Yeah, we had some great scrims in there for sure. But yeah, that's so Black Ops 4. What year was that? I feel like
I
that was like
believe that was 2018.
2018, 2019.
I think it was 2018.
Yeah, 2018. Because yeah, the other Modern Warfare game came out in 2019 at the end of that. So from 2018, so you've been with us for almost better part of 4 years now. 2018, 19, 20, 22. Yeah, about 4 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, yes, sir. So what's in so outside of search and destroy and competitive play, now that we don't have the roster anymore, we don't have a Call of Duty AM team. We're just more focused on, content creation and tournaments and stuff. What's kind of like your goal as far as content creation and streaming? I know you started streaming more often now.
Now my goal is really to just put out content that not only I enjoy but other people enjoy. Whether that's anything from playing FPS games to if any good story-based games come out, I'll probably check those out too. But I like the pub stuff now. From Apex and Rogue Company, I just go around and pub stomp nowadays.
I heard Vote Company like a year ago or 2 years ago was popping off. A lot of people were playing it, but you don't hear too much about
Was
it now. Is that still like a
no,
big game?
it's a decent size. You definitely there's a community out there, but I haven't streamed any Rogue Company yet because honestly, I've just been a little nervous about how it would go. Just because I've been weary of the same question, but I know that they've had a lot of big updates lately that have how could you put it? Revitalized the quality of the gameplay or the
Hmm. Like the
I can't
overall
think of the words.
mechanics or the
Yes, they updated the menu not too long ago. I want to say might have been right on the money with the year ago.
mm.
Maybe not
so
quite that
so
long,
the
but they
aesthetics is getting better and the quality
yes,
and the
they've done
graphics.
a very great job.
Yeah, I saw a lot of people playing and I thought about getting into it, but I was just like, I don't know if it's gonna take off, and so I didn't get into it. Like, when Among Us took off, I got into that heavy. When Fall Guys took off, I got into that. But when Road Company came along, I was like, I don't know. I guess I didn't watch enough gameplay of it to really
Yeah,
get me excited, I
I
guess.
I had seen a lot about Rogue Company when it came out, and it was something that I had kind of wanted to fiddle around with every once in a while. But there was one day that I was just not having a great time on Apex. Just it wasn't having it. So I was like, you know what? Let me check out this Rogue Company. I got on, and it's a third-person multiplayer-based game. It's really sick. It's I've actually uh sorry, I lost my train of thought. Um, oh yeah, it has Strikeout, which is their control. It's control, and then they have Demolition, which is their search and destroy, and then they have a 6v6 team deathmatch. So it would be cool to see if they could incorporate a competitive league into it in some way, because that would be awesome. The sniping in that game is amazing. It's got some of the best sniping mechanics I think I've ever interacted with.
So you still like sniping in pretty much any
Oh
game in
yeah.
any game mode. You
Oh
still like
yeah.
that sniper, huh?
Oh
Yeah,
yes.
Dozy is the same way. I can't snipe. The only two games I actually enjoyed sniping in was Destiny and Sniper 3, and that's it. I can't snipe
Destiny's
to
fun to
save.
snipe in.
Oh, I
Destiny is awesome.
love sniping in Destiny. But Call of Duty sniping, I suck at it. I don't know what it is. I've tried different attachments, I've tried different sensitivities, and I'm just like, nope, it ain't for me.
You
Ain't
definitely
happening.
have to play a lot differently. I think just as a natural search player, the ability to play for picks is just kind of it's how I play, I guess.
I
So
think I think I just naturally suck at it. That's
I,
about it. I
when you're
just chalk it
sniping,
up.
you have to kind of work around your slay habits. And
Yeah,
I mean, don't get me wrong. There are some snipers out there that slay. I'm not one of them. I can't play like that either.
yeah. I think that's where it helped us out a lot is we were able to play off those picks. When you were on the starting roster and we'd play Search and Destroy, we'd rely on you to
Yeah.
go get a first blood and then we play the numbers.
And
And
that's the thing about Search and Destroy is like it's all about the picks. It's all about getting that first pick and playing off that.
right. Now, so for people out there who's probably just getting into Call of Duty, because there's a lot of people playing in challenges now. I think a lot of people are trying to make a name for themselves, and so whether they're like former pros and challengers or newbies, there's always lessons to be had in Search and Destroy because it's methodical. It's like IQ
Oh
plays.
yeah.
It's what are some of the tips that you can offer that has helped you in the past playing comp in Search and Destroy that other people can probably use to help their gameplay?
Um, for sure, play with your team anytime. Especially if you're a sniper or just you take advantage of the long range. Ask your team if there's any angles that they'd like you to take, because you holding an angle helps them push. You holding an angle helps them get a different angle. It's they're playing off of you like we said. It's Search and Destroy is very big on taking that pick, playing off that pick, and hoping that you can put the enemy in a bad position. So knowing your line of sights, knowing where your teammates are going to need you, when you need to back out of your doing your own thing and go help your team. It's one wrong move and one split second of not being able to make a decision can put your team at a disadvantage. So always be sure. I think that's my biggest tip is always be sure of what you're going to do.
Those seconds matter too. And as we know, all of us Call of Duty players, we all know it. Card timing rules. it will
Yes.
be your
Yes, it
best
does.
friend, and then the next round, your worst enemy. It
Everybody
sucks.
knows that's kind of one of the main reasons you have to be for sure about your decisions. That's a big thing about COD timings. You're sitting there, you're waiting, and you want to go do something. If you get that gut feeling, go do it. Do it. Go help your teammate. Go provide that support, because if not, you're gonna die or they're gonna die. 100%.
Yeah. Yeah. So playing with your team, being patient. Um, I'd say
Getting all the
confidence too.
information you need.
Oh yeah, information is key too. Call outs like comms
Yes.
gotta be hidden. But I'd say confidence too. Some people you will see them well, you see them these days because of the way the game is, because of the stupid footsteps. But back in the day, if you didn't have a lot of confidence, all you did was just camp a corner and you just
Oh,
freeze.
yeah.
Like you didn't want to move or
Right.
didn't want to do nothing. And I think there's a fine line between confidence and ego chow. you
Of
know,
course. That kind of
and oh yeah, go ahead.
that kind of goes back to what we were talking about earlier whenever I got put into that 1v2 position. I mean, if I didn't have the confidence to know that, okay, one of them is going to be trying to defuse while one of them watches. That's the most common
Right.
sense way
In a
for me to think.
2v1
So I need
situation,
to
correct. Yep.
I have to break that down. I have to hope in my luck and be confident that if I peek this corner, one of them's going to be defusing. I can maybe get that pick and then hopefully outgun the second dude. With the first pick on the dude defusing, outgun the second dude. That second fight, all about confidence. All of it.
I want to find that footage, and I'm gonna have Skunk pull it up here too. Because I think in one of our old promo videos, I'll have to go into the vault and find the original file. But in one of our old promo videos, I think I had that clip, and I'm gonna search for it here. You can keep giving out tips. I'm gonna see if I can find it.
That'd be
Let's see
cool to
what
see
it
that clip.
is.
I think, uh, I don't know. Anybody who's seen the old mock video will see there's a few clips of it just in the search and destroy in general. There's some 1v2s or 1v3s that confidence is a big thing. Like you have to be confident in the decision you're making, in your shots, in your ability to make that play. Because if not, I mean, you question yourself 1 second, that can throw off your aim, it can throw off your focus, it can throw off all of it.
And yeah, so you have to have confidence in yourself and in your skills, and then also confidence in your teammates too. I feel like,
Yes.
and that just it comes, like you said, it comes from playing together with your team over time. It's not something that's gonna happen overnight unless you've been playing with these people for a while. But it's something that you just have to mesh together. Um, that's what's so cool about the roster we had is everyone knew what everyone's weaknesses were, and we communicate or try to help somebody better. If it was somebody's aim, we'd go into private lobbies and shoot bots. Somebody had
Yeah, we did
issues
vibe
with.
very well.
Yeah, we had a great chemistry, and I think that's another thing to give a tip on is being responsible in your time and taking the time to go into private matches with your team, watching VODs. It's not all just running around shooting the other team and teabagging, which I love to do, as you know. But you have to sit down and watch VODs. You have to sit down and sometimes for an hour just run around the map and find, like you said about the sniper, finding those angles, finding those sneaky little lines of sight that people won't expect you to be at. And yeah, the tiniest thing, oh, I think I found it. It's the tiniest thing that can make the biggest difference for real, especially in such a story, like you said. In this is it. This is the clip right here. But especially in the event of when a call comes down to the wire, let's say you're playing a best of 5 series, and you're gonna search and destroy game match 5, game 5, round 11, and this is the deciding factor of who wins this major tournament. Especially if you're playing in front of a crowd, but even online, it's the nerves are there. The team chemistry might be a little on the rocks depending upon how map 4 went, whatever. But the mental regain to be able to power through a search and destroy, I think that's what separates the great players, from the good players.
Definitely. I agree.
Is if you're getting bodied and you're in the blender in map 4, just getting absolutely smoked, and somebody's shooting your body, and you got to play a search and destroy, and there's 5 rounds. That's if you get all 5 or all 6 rounds together, but there could be 11 rounds of just slow pacing. You have to mentally regain like ain't
Oh
nobody's
yeah.
business. And that is tough.
You have to be able to play off that too.
Here's the clip right here. I'm gonna play right now. This. I think this is Arsenal. But yeah, you get the guy in the bomb, and his teammates challenge too. And so right there, it's just like wow, like that right there.
Yeah, that's crazy. It's crazy to see that again.
I'm gonna play it one more time. I'm gonna have like I said, Skunk maybe pause it. But right here, you automatically knew the guy was on the bomb. like I said, that's why I think you were up. There's behind you. There's a spot where everybody goes to snipe, and I want to say there was either one or two things that happened. Either you sniped the guy through the bomb and got a hit marker. That's how you knew, or you just got good timing because maybe somebody said check bomb and you just got good timing on this guy. I can't remember which one it was. I feel like you had a sniper with you, but regardless,
I think I
5.6.
probably read that timing. Yeah. The
because you played the 50-50. Yeah, you played the 50-50. They either could have came through mid because that alleyway that's a jiggle peak where you came from. I'm gonna back it up here. Right here, you could if you turn around, you can see somebody coming from mid, and then you can turn this corner and see somebody coming from the artillery. But it takes, for those of you who are new to Call of Duty Search and Destroy, most of the people here already know, but for those of you who are new, it takes about 5 to 5.5 seconds to plant the bomb, and 7.5, depending upon which title we're talking about, but 7 to 7.5 seconds to defuse. Right now, as you see, it's 6.1 seconds on the clock. So there's no telling when this guy started defusing. He could have just started, or he could have started a second ago. Either way, Viz gets the timing, times it perfectly. And look, Crash is already there. And I want to say Crash was their number 1 player, and the guy on the bomb is their number 2 player as far as skill level on this particular team we were scrimming at this time. And the simple fact, and this is where it goes to confidence and IQ plays, instead of Viz immediately challenging the guy with the gun, he knows if I at least kill the guy off the bomb, we win, no matter if I die or not. That's those small, quick decision, moments, quick decision plays in those moments that as long as I kill the guy off the bomb, even if this guy kills me, they're not going to have time to defuse, and so you go straight for the guy on the bomb, and you get to a point where this guy up top can't get to you because he's got to jump to get him on that corner. He can't shoot through the wall. So that angle, you kill the guy off the bomb, and now the round is done. It doesn't matter if you die or not, But the fact that you had the confidence just to be like, oh, you want to challenge me too? You can get some too. And just casually just starts walking off. That's just like, that right there is just a phenomenal sight to see. And it comes with practice, comes with time. Just
man, that makes me miss Search and Destroy right there.
You telling? But on Solar, on Advanced Warfare on Solar, I had 17 kills and 4 deaths and like 3 objectives because I was the objective player for the longest time. But then in World War II, I went into a ranked match with some randoms, and it was the 3v4, not in our favor. I dropped on USS Texas 22 kills and 4 deaths in Search and Destroy and rank play.
That's what I'm talking about.
That was fun. Because I didn't, talk about pressure, because I didn't know the skill level of the randoms. So I was like, man, I gotta at least get one so that we can play the 3v3v take, and then just, hope my randoms can just, win their ones. But it went to round 11 too. I gotta find that picture. Nice. I think I posted it in our chat. But it went to round 11, USS Texas, and
World War II had some great Search and Destroy as well. World War II was an amazing game.
Yeah, I feel like World War II was pretty decent. I will say I did like Arden Forest. CTF on that. Yeah, actually, let's talk about gamers. So we know Hardpoint is gonna never go away. I think a lot of people like Hardpoint and Search and Destroy as well. But what do you think about Control? Your honest opinion about Control versus CTF?
I definitely enjoy Control more than Capture the Flag.
Really?
I do not enjoy Capture the Flag. Never did.
Why?
I don't know. It's not. I think just because it being a shooting, I don't know. The Capture the Flag. Since I played it in PE, growing up in school, and then I saw they had tried to put it into video games, it always just threw me off, I guess.
Gotcha. I will say Capture the Flag, people play a little bit more rattier here and there. It was a pain to have a 7 seconds respawn delay. I don't know how I feel about Control because I've been an FPS gamer for the longest time, and the other FPS game that I played religiously other than Call of Duty was Battlefield, and Control came from Battlefield. And so me, personally, I thought that Call of Duty was just taking a bunch of stuff from other games and just throwing it into their game for no reason. With the 5v5, they did that from Rainbow Six Siege. With the whole specialist thing. Again, Rainbow Six Siege. The control from Battlefield. I was like, yo, just be unique. Like when it came out, Uplink, I actually liked Uplink. In AW, Uplink, I didn't mind Uplink. Low key, Uplink was pretty cool. CTF, I can agree with you to a certain degree, to a certain extent, that CTF was not the greatest. But I don't know how I feel about Control because of some of the maps. Some of the control points would be so far away or so close to the enemy spawn that it didn't make even any sense to even try to capture the point. It's like the point is literally 10 feet away from where they spawn, and you got to trek across the entire map just to get to it. It just
Is that the game mode's fault though, or is that the person who made the maps?
Oh, that's true. That's a good point. I will say that is a very good valid point. Maybe if they balanced it better, maybe I could enjoy it more. And just playing it in Black Ops 4 was just a pain. I did not like it. But it could be that. Maybe if it was more balanced, maybe I would have enjoyed it better.
Like the control that they have, it's the exact same except there's one hard point. On Rogue Company, they have it's called Strikeout, but it's control, and it's 4v4, 3 rounds. I think you have to win 3 rounds to win. So, and they have first round, they have 1 point, and you have to capture that point. And as the time counts down, you lose a life. That's how they have it set up. And I feel like Rogue Company's way of setting up control has a way better flow to it. It has a way better flow to it because you still have that. You have to slay out the team in order to keep up, but you also have to play the objective.
That actually sounds like it flows better. To be honest, I haven't played Rogue Company, but just you describing that sounds a lot better. But
yeah, it's
who knows?
Nice.
I mean, we get to play this Modern Warfare 2 game for another year. I think it's gonna be for 2 full years. To be honest, what do you think about that now? Call of Duty games not coming out every year. It's gonna be every 2 years now.
I don't know. I can't be too upset about it not being as avid of a COD player anymore. But I feel like it's kind of disappointing because I do have to wait a whole another 2 years to see if I'm gonna be able to play the next COD.
I look at it this way. I'm not opposed to it because I honestly think with the past 3 titles that, especially with the release of Modern Warfare 2, the amount of bugs and glitches and shenanigans that have come on launch day, we all know the game's going to crash. The servers, okay? You play one game and the server's going to crash. We expect that on midnight release. Everybody and their grandma and the entire world is playing the game. I can forgive you for that. But the fact that when this game launched, you couldn't get more than 3 players in the same lobby, it would always crash, it would always freeze. In between every single match, it would freeze. You had to back out and restart your application. The game was full of freaking bugs. It was just so bad that I feel like maybe, cross my fingers, praying to the heavens and the COD gods, maybe that 2 years will give the developers time to make a really good, solid next Call of Duty game so that on launch, it's all kosher, all polished, all good. It gave them 2 years to make a good game, you know? Hopefully this next Call of Duty game that comes out in 2 years, these 2 years will be well worth the wait, in my opinion. So I'm not opposed if the next Call of Duty game is really good and is done really well. I think that's like, okay, cool. Like, 2 years was worth it. Because this whole copy and paste, and I mean, Cold War, people were grabbing. I mean, I really didn't like the movement on it too much. Vanguard, I didn't even buy the game. That's how that I would literally. And there's only one other Call of Duty game that I never played was Vanguard and Infinite Warfare, were the 2 games I never played. Because I was like, nope, I'm not touching that.
I think I didn't play Vanguard, Cold War, Modern Warfare Remastered, and I know I didn't play Infinite Warfare either.
Yeah, Infinite Warfare. Infinite Warfare was just I was not having that shenanigans. Nope. I mean, Advanced Warfare from when it came out, I was like, oh, this is pretty cool. Futuristic. It was ahead of its time. I feel like campaign was pretty cool. Atlas, Kevin Spacey. Jumping around. And then it became after like a couple of months, the whole flying through the air became kind of like too much, and I was just like, okay, what's going on now? Um,
Yeah, I wish I would have been able to play Advanced Warfare when it actually came out. The game was, I enjoyed it a lot.
yeah. So transitioning from Call of Duty, and our love for Search and Destroy, you now are heavy into Apex Legends. Do you play rank at all on there? I've seen a lot of people playing rank on that game.
Played on and off quite a bit. Uh, I think season 14 was the only season I actually tried to play ranked. Like I got to diamond.
You said you got to Diamond?
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Nice, nice, nice. I remember one of our former members, Reaper, he was telling me to get into it years ago when it came out. And I played it a little bit. That's when I was still playing Comp COD, so I didn't play Apex as heavy. But I was like, oh, this is a pretty cool game. But then I just kind of like just forgot about it. And then when Warzone and Verdansk had all that craziness going on, and Apex Legends kind of got like revived, a lot of people remember that was even a game, including myself. I was like, let me pick it back up again. And Reaper kept hounding me. You gotta play Apex, man. You gotta play Apex, Nox. I was like, okay, fine, I'll play it. And I actually enjoyed the game. I actually enjoy playing Apex a lot more than these past Call of Duty titles. So who knows? Maybe if I get some time here in the next year, I'll probably play some rank, see how it is. Because I've been watching some people play rank, and I mean they're all about it. Like they are all about their rank. What is it, PR or whatever it's called? Uh, it's like
RP.
that. RP. I had this little dyslexia moment. RP. I
Yeah.
guess was that rank points? What does that stand for?
Yeah.
Hey, look at that IQ there. Uh, anyway, no, I think somebody even told me that. But I might actually play that game a little bit more. I mean, I've been trying to figure out the other different games I might play because I don't play Comp COD anymore, so I have that freedom to now just kind of play. I like playing Minecraft. I will play some Minecraft for 8 hours and just vibe with me and my
I don't think
puppies
I've
and
touched
go on the
Minecraft
raids.
since I was like 8.
What? Oh man, dude, Minecraft is. I thought for the longest time Minecraft was just like a little kiddie game, and then I got hooked on it. So it's pretty dope
I mean,
actually.
I there's a lot that they do on there. There's like all types of stuff they do on there. Which I
Yeah,
like my
man,
shooters.
you can make yourself a little boat and go fishing.
I feel like really, I feel like I play video games to a certain extent. I feel like I do it to add a certain amount of stress onto my mental, if that makes sense. If I'm not playing a game that's competitive or adding that certain bit of stress that I need at the end of the day, I feel like it kind of throws me off.
Try running from a creeper into an Enderman. That'll give you a lot of stress. Nah, but so Apex is a thing now. I mean, it's getting a lot more views than Call of Duty. I've seen a lot of people play Valorant. What's the deal? I've seen this too. A lot of streamers they they play Apex, and then after that they either play Overwatch or Valorant. Cause I guess they're all kind of the same mechanics or whatever. Like it's like they go hand in hand. It's like those two
uh,
games. What's
from
the
what
deal with
I
that?
know of, Valorant is a lot like CS:GO.
Oh
I
yeah,
don't
yeah, I know
quote.
that. Yeah, yeah, it definitely is. It's like as if CS:GO and Overwatch had a baby, pretty much.
I suppose, yeah. I've never actually played Valorant. I think Valorant is PC only. But
Right, it is. Yeah,
from what I've seen, it looks really fun, and I've wanted to play it a lot. But I think Valorant. It's just another one of those games that has a very high skill gap. So you see people like ACU, Timmy, just all those really high skill gap FPS players. They stick to games like that more, I think, because of the actual skill gap that is there.
Ah, so it's not they're not playing it solely because it's kind of similar to the previous game they were playing. It's just more of the skill thing, skill gap, or
Yeah,
they're.
I feel like
Hmm.
they'd more be playing like it's someone who would like play Apex for a couple hours and then be like, okay, I'm done with this. I'm gonna get on Valorant. I feel like it's just a change of pace, and
Hmm.
they still get that skill gap of not having to deal with like like I was saying earlier, like people who are just kind of want to casually play.
That makes sense. Because I was like, almost every streamer I watched after they played Apex, they were either playing Valorant or Overwatch. I'm like, am I missing something? Because I know it's not made by the same company, and I'm like, there's some similar stuff in the fact that different characters can do different crazy stuff, but I was like, I must be missing something. Every single person after they playing this, they playing Overwatch or Overwatch 2 or Valorant. I was like, what is this deal? Like, what is it? But that makes sense. The skill, what you just said, actually, I can see that now.
It's hard for me to play a game that doesn't have some type of skill gap.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it after putting down the controller for Comp COD, I was like, I don't know what to do anymore. I would play other fun little games like Sunset Overdrive was fun years ago. But even then, I still played Comp, but I was kind of getting off the roster back then. Um, and then, like I said, Among Us. For the longest time, I started playing Horizon Zero Dawn for the first time, and Monster Hunter Iceborne. I played those, and that was fun. Then I got back into GTA 5, so it's been nice to just kind of you know dabble
Bounce
into some
around.
other games. It's very fun. I love video games, man. It's just from the competitive side to the recreational side, I still love them equally both. I still keep up with the CDL, even though I think the CDL production steam is garbage. But I still like watching the casters, the players. I love following a lot of the players. And then recreational, I just love vibing. Like you find some of these streamers and they're just playing some Roblox or some Minecraft or whatever. What was that game? That horror game? Phasmophobia, whatever.
I
But they're
have
just
no.
vibing with it, chat. Is that game where you're in like the trailer or something? You got to go into this haunted house and then do different tasks, and then you got a little camera and a little flashlight. Phasmophobia, whatever the game is called.
It sounds interesting.
If you know the game, type it in the chat, please. But because I don't know. I know there's a lot of people playing it. Phasm, I'm not gonna even try. But I like just finding those streams and just people just vibing, chatting, laughing, having a good time. It's a change of pace because like for 10 plus years of being on a roster, as you know, you've been on the roster. It and you're doing that for so long, title after title, trying to adapt because not every Call of Duty game is the same. It is, but it isn't, and so you have to adapt to a new playstyle. Or this game has Dolphin Dive, that game has Slide Cancel, this game had this Drop Shot, this game does not have Drop Shot. So trying to adapt and be still at the top of your level game after game and playing on a roster where it's high end and you got the intensity, then teammates screaming at each other. It's just like it takes a lot to like keep yourself calm or whatever.
Oh
But
yeah, for
having
sure.
not having
I
to
think
deal with that is just like such a relief for me.
I completely agree. I think that's sometimes why certain players, 1 year Scumps at the top of his game, but next year someone else is at the top of their game. I think that also has to do with what you were just talking about. That's the small minute changes that each game has to its gameplay and its movement and stuff. Each player is gonna have certain mechanics that they what's the word that they adhere to more, that they are just better at playing with.
Yeah, I mean, there's only a very few number of players that have been able to be consistent title after title after title. No matter what the meta is or what gun is, like, is a very few amount of players that can do that. But it's not a lot, like you said. That people, and I think a lot of people wonder, like, well, this person was really good at this game. Why aren't they doing? It's put yourself in their shoes. You know,
There's a lot of stuff they have to
a
adapt
lot
to.
of stuff they gotta adapt to, and unfortunately, some of them couldn't, or some, I mean, there's a few players that are out there that surprisingly are still on teams after not being able to adapt. It's like they had a good run, and then the next season just like dropping donuts, and then
Yeah.
they somehow still found themselves on the roster. It's like, well, maybe this title is more like the title that they were goated at, so they're giving them a second chance. Who knows? And then they might
That and
surprise you.
it also could come down to a lot of, maybe they have more chemistry with this person than somebody else they might decide to play
Ah,
with,
that's
so it's
true.
they're
There's
just
that
better
too.
off keeping that person.
That's a huge factor I did not even think about too. That is correct. Chemistry goes a long way because you can fine tune and get your skills to a game. You can fine tune that. Chemistry
Yeah.
is hard to come by.
Yes, sir.
You're trying to get a new person to mesh well with the team, and sometimes that's how teams fall apart because of lack of chemistry.
I've seen it
And yeah,
firsthand.
it's not a fun sight. You got this player showing up late for practice, this player yelling at that player, this player wants a roster change. It's like, golly, guys, can you just sit down and watch the VOD for 1 second? 2 seconds, maybe? Pull for the four? But, no, I guess not. Um, so, yeah, so we talked about your game experience and everything. Um, what what are you looking forward to in your new position here? Now that we don't have a roster, we're going to be hosting tournaments, and you're our tournament supervisor. What is your um what's the word I'm looking for? Like, what are you excited about? I guess in that. What is your goal for that too?
I think the thing I'm most excited about is creating an environment that gamers can come and just vibe. A different type of unique tournaments. I guess I'm excited to be the one that's kind of the head of making sure everything flows right and providing a good experience for not only the people competing but the people that are watching and all around.
Yeah, it's definitely exciting, and the fact that especially when we do have, because we're gonna be having Apex tournaments, we'll be having Call of Duty tournaments and Warzone tournaments, CDL variants, and the fact that when it comes to Call of Duty and Apex, you have that knowledge and that skill level and the knowledge of the game, both of those games. The fact that you played CDL, um, and you have that experience, I feel like that's gonna bring a really good amount of expertise into planning out these type of tournaments and events. The fact that you yourself play these games or have played these games in these type of game modes, you know. Um,
Right.
so I think that plays a huge role too, and I'm excited. I can't wait. Like, there's so
I'm very
much.
excited.
Yeah, there's so much that we've got planned and I'm looking forward to. Uh, I just can't wait. I'm happy that you are back in the full swing of things on the grind. We definitely
Yeah,
missed
it's
you
good
for
to be
those
back.
years. Your hiatus was too long.
I agree.
Your hibernation was not fun. No, I'm sure it was fun for you. But and going back to, I guess, what we talked about, regaining, and things happen. When you're gaming and either life happens, or some players, they take a year off to focus on their either their mental health or their families, or they start got stuff going on, then they come back on the grind, whatever. We've seen that a lot of times. That mental regain, is that some players need. It's vitally important.
Like you were saying, it really was not easy. I think we determined that I was 14 or 15 back then whenever everything started out. And man, it was not easy being that age with that much passion for the competitive side because no one took you
Oh yeah, that
serious.
too. Yeah, when
Like I
When they
mean,
lose
I
confidence in themselves or
it was
confidence in
difficult.
you, or they're freaking out from what happened the last match and they got put in the blender, you know, it does affect the whole thing. And you see it. It shows in the pro league and in the amateur scene. Teams fall apart.
Here,
It's not cool. It's not fun.
I think
I,
one of my favorite streamers. His name is Lamek. I'm pretty sure he was a new member on a some tournament team. It was one of their first tournaments playing. It was a new team. So they haven't had much chemistry built up. They didn't really have much time playing together. So from what I heard, I didn't actually get to see what happened. What I heard is once they got into the tournament, since they didn't have much, just the chemistry and the experience of playing with each other and knowing how your teammate plays, that's big in Apex. Apex is a very, very team-based game mode. If you don't have chemistry with your team, especially like actual gameplay chemistry, things can fall apart very fast. And from what I heard, his team just didn't play well. They didn't have that chemistry. They didn't have that flow.
and they wound up losing, I guess.
Yeah,
Or
they lost everything. It just, from what I heard, everything just fell apart. It was a very, very bad tournament
yeah,
for
when
them.
you lose full, it's not fun.
No, it's not. It's never fun. I think, and that's one of the most frustrating parts. As kind of touches back on my point earlier when I was saying it's hard, being someone who's not really a casual player when you play to add that certain amount of stress, and you kind of there's consequences to doing that when you're playing, I guess, a free to play game because you can only expect so much. It's why you kind of start to wish that there's a some way for you to play with people who are not playing casually. Like, because even if you go into the ranked side of any game, you're gonna find people who don't have the game awareness that you wish they'd have. It's just part of the SBMM, I guess.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Like SBMM in Call of Duty is horrible. I don't like it. And when you're trying to play competitive, you don't want to play with randoms who just want to play recreational. And there's nothing wrong with recreational, but when you're
No,
in
there's
that
not.
comp mentality, you're trying to find randoms that have mics that actually know where to drop and stuff like that. It's hard to find people like that, you know?
It can get very frustrating. Yeah. I mean, especially when it just especially when it gets to the point where the game says they have SBMM, but whenever you have 56, like some of these streamers have 56,000 kills on their account, but they're getting teammates who level 20 have 50 kills. Like, to an extent, is there really SBMM? Or and is it really to that 50,000 kill player's side? Are you trying to give him something that is not going to make the whole lobby want to kill him? That's
Facts.
that's that's where it gets me.
I agree wholeheartedly on that that sentiment. I mean, especially in Warzone, where you're trying to ping
Oh
somewhere
yeah.
to drop, and somebody just pings us some random weird spot.
Oh,
You're like, oh my god.
it's the same in Apex. Trust me. You will land. You'll like, okay, look, drops right here. Doesn't seem like there's gonna be too many people. Maybe we'll have to fight a team. You ping there, and your teammate spams no. They're like, I'm going way in this corner, and it's like, why are you even on my team?
And that's when you have to hit the mental V game
Yeah, you
and
have
just
to.
close your eyes and be
And
like, why me? Oh, why me?
And it sucks because sometimes I feel like I'm being insensitive to the casual players out there, which I try so hard not to be, because I used to be one of those casual players. Like I said, I used to be the average point 0.8 KD player that just got on and have fun and joked around. And I had no clue. I didn't know there was a whole other side of gaming in a whole. And that's That's where I wish there was just like a setting in the settings or something that you have to turn on to where then you start getting in games with people who are like actually know what they're doing.
Yeah, yeah, you
And
definitely. Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say I don't mean like the crossplay setting. Like yeah, that's something, but that's not some type of setting to interpret an actual skill statistical reading that puts you ranked doesn't work and there's so many people that will just come at me like "Oh, he's forgetting about ranked, he's forgetting about ranked." I'm not. I ranked is the same way. Like on Apex you go into ranked and you've got people on smurf accounts that are preds and it's ridiculous. A level 19 that's predator is ridiculous to me.
Oh yeah, I hate Smurf accounts like that. It makes no sense. I mean, I see why they do it, but it's just like, come on now, like like how many Smurf accounts are you gonna really have?
Yeah, it eliminates the whole thing they're trying to do with rank.
Last few things. I asked DW this and his friend Chad when they came on the stream, and this is more of a little fun little get to know the player. Um, Pepsi or Coke?
Oh, for sure. So,
Coke. Okay.
yep,
Star Wars or Star Trek?
Star Wars.
Star Wars. Ooh, why? Why is there any particular reason?
If I'm being honest, it's just because I know more about Star Wars. I never really got into Star Trek or Star Wars, but when I was younger, I did watch enough Star Wars to know more about it than Star Trek.
Okay, gotcha. Marvel or DC?
Oh wow! Oh wow! Oh wow! Wow!
I know, right? It's a tough one, but you gotta pick, brother.
I'm gonna go with Marvel.
Marvel, okay, I can get down with that. I do appreciate the darkness DC does bring to the table. I feel like their movies have not gotten better. The TV shows are great, but the DCU has not done a phenomenal job. I am a Marvel fan, a Marvel nerd to heart.
Yeah.
But DC has such a great lineup of characters and stuff. I don't know why they don't really resurrect themselves as far as the film is concerned.
Yeah, I think that's kind of why the Marvel side takes off because they have great movies.
For sure, for sure, for sure. Um, and last but not least, would you ever go skydiving?
Man, man, listen. This is gonna be probably one of the biggest dilemmas in my life because I am terrified of heights. I can't stand heights. I think if I'm anywhere higher than 2 stories, I start to freak out a little bit. So my brother wants me to go skydiving for his birthday, for one of his birthdays. So it's something that I'm probably gonna have to do.
You're just not looking forward to it.
No, 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 no. But honestly, there's a clip of Will Smith saying that he went skydiving and like he was terrified, but once he jumps out, he's laughing, falling through the sky laughing, and he said that uh, life hides bliss on the other side of fear or something like that. And that's something that's stuck with me for the longest, and that's probably going to be the reason that I do go skydiving with my brother. So, for any of you that are listening, whether it's skydiving or any type of leap that you're scared to take it. Because if anything, you're just going to learn something.
There you go. You heard it from the man, the myth, the legend. Not a myth, but but yo,
I'll
dude.
take the legend, though.
Definitely a legend. Definitely a legend. Thank you for the time. It's been real. We got like a little over an hour, so that's perfect. Usually around an hour is where we try to keep it at, so it's perfect.
Awesome.
Got a lot of we gotta go through those footage, and I gotta find the footage from when we actually did scrims. I don't know if I have a whole lot of them though, but yeah, the that sniper shot. Once again, I want Skunk to put it in one more time here for you guys when we pop it up on screen. That sniper shot is just so insane, man. Oh my god, just beams the guy. But uh, it's been nice talking with the one and only Viz, Mock Viz, ItsVizz. You want to tell them how they can find you? You're on Twitch, right? You're on Twitch, social
Yes,
media. What's your tags?
you can find me on Twitch at ItsVizz, ITSS My Twitter is ItsVizz with 3 Z's, as well as my Instagram. You can find me on all of those. You also have a link tree there as well. Appreciate you having me on the podcast. No,
Yeah,
it's
it's been
a
great. It's
pleasure.
been great. And for those of you, listening, type in the comments what you want us to talk about next. Type in our Discord. We will be live streaming our event. We have a tournament coming up. It's the Apex Legends tournament. We'll be live streaming that on Friday, January 6th. So if you want to participate in that, you can go on our website and sign up your team for that. If you want to watch it, we'll be live streaming it on our YouTube and our Twitch channels. We just launched our merch store, so go cop some merch, represent. As always, it is Noxious, aka Nox. This has been an episode of the podcast, HCOM Podcast. Be sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. And until next time, be cool, stay safe. We're out.